Welcome back to Forge Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be giving another quick overview on Palantir, especially on to what I think about the stock in the longer term. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. If you'd like to watch any of my previous videos, you'll find those ones in the description below, where I go on and talk about anything or everything regarding Palantir. So let's jump right into this one. So for here, I do want to give a quick update in terms of Palantir. So for Palantir here, if you can take a quick look into all the job openings that they do have, anything from engineering to finance to business developments, design, administrative, communications, legal, mission operations, including as well as scholarships here. So there's definitely a good amount of different things going on in terms of this company, in terms of recruiting and careers. If we were to look into press releases, we noticed one new release from since my last video, which is Palantir and Faurecia embark on a long-term strategic partnership. And the main part of this partnership is it's a 6-year strategic partnerships with Faurecia, one of the world's leading automotive technology companies, to accelerate its digital transformation and ambition to become carbon dioxide neutral. Now, Palantir Foundry was designed to help organizations integrate disparate data sources and make the best possible use of their data. Now, Faurecia will use Palantir's Foundry software to gain further insight to its data across the company, from manufacturing to purchasing, from engineering to finances. Built on the top of Faurecia's IT portfolio, the contracted cloud services, Palantir Foundry will allow Faurecia to reduce the raw material consumptions, improve research and development competitiveness, secure purchase excellence, and track the measure overall carbon dioxide neutrality effort. And a big part of this one here that I did want to mention it is that becoming carbon dioxide neutral is not something if companies will do that, but it's when companies will be pushed to do that. And once we get to start seeing these companies like Palantir, for instance, help other companies or reach out that carbon dioxide neutral, it does really put a really good mark in terms of Palantir's portfolio for the future, and would encourage other companies to embark with that journey with Palantir compared to other companies. Now, Palantir and 3M expands relationships to build dynamic supply chain. I covered that in my last video, so I'm not going to cover this again, just because I do know a bunch of you do watch my videos quite often, but never really subscribe. So please make sure to subscribe. It helps me a lot. Now, in terms of insiders, institutional buyers, etc., institutional buyers, things are looking bullish. They've been adding on in the last week and a half, millions of shares. Dumac Incorporation's added 3 million shares around here with around $66 million of value, and that was just last night. So it definitely looks bullish. Institutions are loving this one, and they keep adding more and more and more and more and more and more, which is always a bullish thing. In terms of insiders, we don't see much going on. Sometimes you have different insiders selling stocks here and there, but it's nothing really alarming. It's just normal transactions behaviors. And from this, we need to take a quick look into their financials. The price over book and price over sales might be a little bit too high, around the 30s and the 40s. Now, the current market average is sitting at 2 to 3. So that's something you need to consider, but it definitely is trading on intrinsic value. From here on, we're going to go ahead and move on towards the technical analysis to get a bit more perspective on the trading psychology of different traders around there. And just before going on towards technical analysis, there's a lot of you folks that have been watching me for a while and haven't just clicked that subscribe button yet. Around 90% of you. Just please do so. It helps my channel a lot. If you'd like to join our Discord, it's totally free. It's in the description below. We talk about stocks like this one all the time. So let's jump right into technical analysis now. Now, on a one-day perspective, what we get to see here is that the MACD is more of an accumulation period, retracting just a little, and it's looking a little bit scary because things here are looking as if they're retracting back down towards the negative side on the MACD, and momentum is dipping a little. And what you're seeing here is that the stock is actually still overbought around 25. Once you start getting the 50s on the million percent R, that's where it's neutral, and around 70s or 80s, you're probably looking at overbought. Or sorry, oversold. And so currently it's overbought, and that's a little bit of a dangerous thing to be at. In terms of ADX, it doesn't show any significant trend here. Currently, it's in the bearish trading action zone between 26.83 and 24.99, where bearish reversals are more likely within this channel. And so above the 29 bucks, that's where things start becoming a bit more bullish. Now, on a 2-hour perspective, things are looking really sloppy. The MACD is indicating there's a negative trend, and the ADX is showing you a negative trend. Now, a negative trend is more of a pullback on a 2-hour scale, so don't freak out. In terms of the moving average band, this one is expected to trade on 28.02 on the top, 25.47 in the middle, and 22.92 in the bottom. Now you get to start seeing that the Bollinger Bands are tighter here. You're looking at 28.72 and 22.22 in the bottom. And it's currently climbing just a little bit down. It's kind of curving a little bit down, so it might start meeting that next strong support, or a little bit closer towards the Bollinger Bands. Now, in terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are showing you to be careful because things are starting to look a little bit off a dip here. We might see a little bit of a drop, so we need to look into Fibonacci retracements, significant supports and resistances, etc. So on a Fibonacci retracements, we're starting in around the 890 levels. We're starting to see a significant support level at the 2279, followed by 1753, followed by 903, or around $9. Significant resistances are at 2704, 3129, 3734, and 4505. Comes to the question, to Ed, what do you think about this one? Well, before I go there, we need to look at other supports. 2519, that's a very strong one. 2303, we're looking at 2226, 1916, 1658, 1447, and then down to 1131. Significant resistances, you're looking at 2736, followed by 2935, followed by 3117, followed by 3533, and then we're following up by around 38. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? I really like Palantir. Now, yes, their book values are not there yet. Yes, they have a bit of issues about making sure their sales and the price over book is still solid. The current trend line following this one is this one right here. It's still holding, and so above that region, it's looking good. I know it dipped to 20 bucks sometime, but thinking around 2 weeks ago. But here's the thing, the entire market was actually taking a dip, so we're gonna brush it off. And the big question is this worth it intrinsically? Do we see an expansion, a massive expansion that is gonna bring the price over book to justify that it's around almost the same price over book of Tesla? It is a little bit overvalued. It's not the average 2 to 3. And the answer here comes in is that it is very possible. And as long as their growth continues to be exponential as we're seeing currently, there is a strong possibility that that price over book stays on and catches on par with the stock prices. Now, it's easy to say, oh, the stock will be $100 in the future. And the big question is, $100, what are you talking about? Are you talking about after, maybe we can do a reverse split and we can be $100. We can do a split and we talk about $100. We can talk about them adding millions of shares into the market. We're talking about $100. They're all different. So take a look into the market cap. So will this stock achieve a market cap similar to that of, and you start comparing it to, well, what's the market cap of Microsoft, Apple at the early years? What was their growth? Then start looking at the market caps and then potentially look at the average of how many shares they probably would add during the years, assuming that a conservative, let's say 10% of diluting shares per, let's say 2 years or so. I'm just throwing random numbers there, but that is a very much of a possibility. And taking a quick look into their possible growth of market share, and from there on we can move on. If you would like me to do that and go through all this kind of study regarding market share, drop a like, follow me, and give me a shout out on Discord, and we'll definitely do that. Have a wonderful day.